welcome to my stamp studio. Yep, we are going to be busy people today. Something quick on our lunch hour. So glad you could join me. So it's Hump Day Lunch Break Live. Woohoo! So I am on my lunch break, and I just wanted to bring you a quick little project that you can make and give someone something sweet and a treat and just something fun. So let me get started. Let me show you what we're working on. So we are going to make this really cute apple cider packet. And so I have a caramel apple pop and a package of apple cider mix. And so when they mix this, they use the lollipop here to stir, and it gives a caramel apple cider drink. All right, and here is our cute little packet holder for it. So let's get started on what we need. Oh, I forgot my stamp pads. I'm not going to be able to stamp much without those. Let me just grab those really quick. And if you are watching the replay, just go ahead and let me know that you're watching replay. If you're here joining me live, just give me a thumbs up, give me some love, let me know that you're here. And I'm just going to... You're joining me live. Here we go. Okay, so some of the items I'm going to be using is my Memento Black ink, because I'm going to be using my stamping blends. So I've got a couple colors here. I've got black, I've got cinnamon cider, and my cherry cobbler light blend. I'm also going to be using my cinnamon cider stamp pad, and that is to create my little tag. So let's go ahead and let me bring some things in so we can get started. I'm going to be featuring this stamp Sweets and Treats stamp set. So excited about this. I think it's adorable. I have a lot of cards and projects made. In fact, I think this is going to be one of my upcoming classes. Originally, I had it scheduled to be part of a stamp camp, but my venue that I was going to be holding it at has closed down. So I have to look for another venue. And if I don't have a venue, I'll be creating the class. So in the description below, I will be posting a link to my online store with a host code. And if you place a $30 order, I will send you all the little things to make this. Now, that host code is only going to be available until next week. So it's only a week long. All right, let's go. I have got my little Pierce mat. This came from our Stamperata, so I just have a little cushion underneath because this is a photopolymer stamp, so I want a little cushion. And I have my little grid paper here. We'll also be using the TaylorMade tags here, and that is because we want to create a little tag to put our sentiment on. So I'm going to pull that out for right now, and I will be showing you all of that in just a moment. So the first thing I have is I have a piece of cinnamon cider cardstock. It is 5.5 by 8.5. I have a piece of basic white that measures 3.5 by 2.5. And I have a little scrap here that I'm going to be using to die cut this tag. I have a piece of cherry cobbler, and this measures 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. I will have a PDF available on my website that will have all the measurements and supplies used in this project, so you can download that for free. If you are on my email list, you will get this tutorial sent out on Friday. It's going to be Freebie Friday. I'm going to start sending out tutorials to all of my email subscribers. So if you haven't yet subscribed to my email list, I will have a link below. Go ahead and subscribe to that, and you will be getting your first email on Friday. If you're watching this on YouTube, I do post my lives up to YouTube. It is a replay. So just let me know that you're there. Leave me a comment. Like my videos. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that. And if you click the little notify bell, you'll get notified of every time I upload a new video. All right, so let's get started on some of our easier things here. Well, no, we'll get started on the fun one. So we're going to do some scoring on here and some cutting. It looks like it's going to be difficult, but it really isn't. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm bringing in my score pal here. All right, I'm gonna make sure it's on camera here in focus. There we go. So on my 8.5 inch side, I am going to be scoring this at 3 inches. Let me make sure. 3 inches and 3¼ inch. Okay, I'm going to turn this. So on my 5.5 inch side, I am measuring at 1/2 and then 3/4. And then I'm going to come over here to 4 3/4 and 5. Okay, so that is it for our scoring. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a pair of scissors and we're going to cut off the excess that we don't need. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to this first 3-inch score line and I'm going to snip that right there. I'm going to turn this and then I'm going to cut down from the long side right to that score line. Just like that. This is a scrap piece, we don't need it. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just cut down this long way here. This is going to make the back of your pocket. And cut this out there. All right. There we go. So now my next thing is to grab my tear and tape. You can use liquid glue. I like the tear and tape for this project. I am going to be pulling in some dimensionals, so I might as well pull those in right away. All right. We're going to put adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and burnish all of these here. So grab my bone folder, and I want to get all of these scored really well. So when you are working on a project that you've done a lot of scoring on or making a 3D project, I definitely recommend having a bone folder or something that you can give your folds a really nice crease. All right, get this last one here. There we go. All right. So now, just looking at this, this is going to be the inside here. What I'm going to end up doing is folding this in, just like this, to form my pocket. So what I'll need to do is I need to put adhesive on this 1/2 inch strip and this 1/2 inch strip. So let's go ahead. I'm going to flip my project over just to make it easier for me to put this on. So I'm going to put my strip right here. And give that a tear. I'm going to turn it and put it right here. Just like that. Okay. So let me tell you, I had the darndest time trying to find apple cider packets. I finally went to Woodman's, and Woodman's always has everything. So I found them there. All right. So give that a good rub, make sure it's all down. And then peel off that backing. Peel off the backing. And I want to make sure that I have my little fold there, my little 1/4 inch there on both sides. And I'm just going to fold this in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have that lined up along the edge there. And then I'm going to do the other side. So this little part kind of creased in. So just make sure that you're getting it even to the edge. Then I like to take my bone folder and slide that in and just rub that down. That way I know it's going to be adhered really well. Okay, so now the next thing is I'm going to grab a punch here. And I didn't have it out ahead of time, so give me a moment while I find my little punch. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Okay, well, I can't find my punch, so we'll just do it by hand. I'm going to go ahead and round my corners. So I'm just going to take my snips here, and I'm just going to round it just a little bit. If you have a corner rounder, that would be great to use. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell corner rounders anymore, so there we go. Yeah, they're not really straight. I'm going to go ahead and trim a tad down there just to make it a nice even line. There we go. Oh, and my cutting blade needs to be replaced. I've made a ton of these. I had a craft sale over the weekend, so I made a bunch of these up. So I've been using my trimmer like crazy. Okay, so there we go. There is our pocket. I'm going to go ahead and put it aside because now we're going to do some stamping. Pull in my mat again. And we're going to pull in our basic white here. And I'm going to take the pie and the apple. I'm going to get 2 blocks out here so I have it on one. Let's see here. Okay. Here's one for my apple. And we'll just use that one for the pie. Right there. So now I'll bring in my Memento Black. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining. Renee and Amy and Becky. Nice to see all of you. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and stamp this kind of on the center and towards the lower edge of my cardstock here. Just like that. All right, that's one. Now I'll go ahead and stamp one of the apples. I'm going to stamp that off to the side just a little bit. Just like that. And I'm going to bring in my little scrap here. So I'm just putting down my die cut there, my die, I should say, just so I know where to stamp this. So I'm just going to stamp it right there. I'm going to be cutting that out, so it's not a big deal that it's on a scrap. All right, let's get this covered. I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to do our coloring now. So I'm going to pull in my light cherry cobbler blend. And I'm going to use the chisel side here. And I'm just going to color in my apple. Now, if you want a little darker one, you could use the dark. I'll pull that one out so you can see what that's going to look like. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do my pieces of pie there. Oh, well, you know why that's the wrong color? Because that was the light real red. This is my light cherry cobbler. I was wondering why that color was a little off. All right, so here is my apple. I'll just go in there, there. And we'll do this one. I love using the blends because it doesn't show like streak lines at all. And it blends in just smoothly. All right, next I'm going to pull in my light cinnamon cider and my dark cinnamon cider, and I'm just going to go ahead and color some of this in. I'm not really being very particular on it. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do this. We're going to put a little wink of Stella on here and make this pie look like it has a little egg wash on it. Gives it a little sparkle. Who doesn't like sparkle, right? Right, let's get ahead and bring my other blend in here. And now I'm just going to blend that all together. So right now you kind of see the streaky marks, but you know what? Once it dries, you're not going to notice that. All right, so there's that one. I like to use the light and dark just to give my project a little more dimension and depth. But if you don't have them, go ahead and use a marker. Go ahead and use a color pencil. Use what you have, a blender pen with a stamp pad. All right, and now let's get my pie here. We'll get that all colored in. All right. And now we're going to take our black here. Now on my other project I used black and smoky slate, but I thought I only want to use one set of colors here. So My black. Now we'll grab the light basic black, and we're going to just blend this in. So we're making that pie tin right now. If you wanted to use a different color, you are more than welcome. You could use a cherry cobbler on it. It would look kind of cute too. All right, so now I'm going in right where I had the dark, and I'm just blending that back into the light here. And it'll kind of give my tin just a little dimension. So when you look at this, you can see there's just a little dimension to it. Oh, and I didn't realize I've got, let me try and adjust my light here. For some reason, it is showing a lot of, there we go. Okay, that's a little better. I didn't realize that there was so many streaky things going through there. All right, let's go ahead and do our stick here for our apples. I'm just going to do one of the cinnamon cider blends. All right. Now I'm going to come in with my Wink of Stella here. And actually, before I do that, I think I'm going to cut this one out, because I want to put my Wink of Stella on here as well. And I don't want to have to try and cut it while it's drying. So I am just cutting right along the edges of the stamped image. You could leave a little bit of white, that would be fine. It's going to go on the white background, so you're not going to even notice it. All right. So what is everyone having for lunch today? Share with me what you're having. I haven't quite figured out what I'm doing for lunch yet. There we go. Okay, now let's get all those little pieces out of the way. Let's bring in the Wink of Stella. I have a little carousel here where I have all my little inks and everything. Okay, so here's my Wink of Stella. All right, so you shake it just to get it a little, your liquid moving there. And then right here it says push. So when you push, it brings out some of that liquid down. Now be careful. You can start seeing it come down. You don't do it too much, because otherwise you'll have a big hot mess. All right. So I've got that one done, and I'm going to come back over and do my pie here. So now I squeezed a little bit, and I got a lot of extra Wink of Stella there, so I just need to make sure I'm kind of blending that through, so that's going to stay where I want it to, and it's going to dry there. I'm not going to squeeze it again because I've got so much liquid right there. All right. So while that's drying, it should only take a couple seconds. I'm going to move that aside, and I'm going to bring in my mini die cut machine. Love this thing. It's portable. It's easy to leave right on your desktop. So I have my #1 plate, which is my base, and then I have 2 cutting plates. Yes, mine is very well loved. Can you tell? And we're going to put this right on there. We're going to run it through real quick. Love these dies. They're really cute. So they make these cute little tags that has a little bit of stitching on it. You had a bagel. That sounds good. I bought some spinach and artichoke cream cheese, which actually is pretty good. Okay, so there we go. There is my tag. I'm going to move my die aside. Bring this back in, and now I'm going to grab the sentiment here saying a tasty treat for someone sweet. We'll put that on a block. Just like that. I'm going to pull in our cinnamon cider ink. Stamp that right in the center there. Just like that. There we go. Looking nice. Move all the blender pens out of the way. Close that up. And now we're going to get to assembling things. It's still a little damp, so I'm just going to give that another moment or two. I can do some other things in the meantime. So I've got my cherry cobbler here. I'm just going to grab some liquid glue and adhere it right to the pocket. maybe I'm going to do it. I think this one might be done. Oh, no, there it is. Kind of on its last leg here. Okay. So you want to just make sure that you get your adhesive not real thick, because otherwise it'll gush out. Okay, I think I'm going to grab a different one just for the sake of trying to get this video done in a short amount of time. Okay, let's grab a different one. Let's see if this one's any better. Sometimes these get a little clogged. Ooh, yeah, I squeezed too hard there. So sometimes when they get clogged, all of a sudden when you squeeze it, a bunch comes out. Yeah, so just be careful. All right. Normally, it does not take that long to put adhesive on a piece of cardstock. All right. So I'm just going to center that on the front of my pocket. And press it down a little bit. If I want, I can take my phone folder on the inside here and just rub along there. There we go. It'll be fine. You have a little bit of wiggle room when you're using the liquid glue. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this. Go ahead, put adhesive on. And I'm going to put this in the front. Now, my Winkle is almost dry, so I don't want to push on that. So I'm going to go around. There we go. Okay. Next, we're going to take our black gingham ribbon. I just love this stuff. I'm that buffalo check kind of girl. All right, we're going to trim some of this off. I'm going to tie a little bow. I'm going to just turn it upside down. I tend to tie bows better when I turn it upside down. And I've got a very long piece here, so I have enough space to be doing my bow. All right, there we go. Give it a good tug. Nice. And I'm just going to trim it down a little bit, make my bows a little more even. And I'm going to give it a trim here. Trim over here. There we go. Okay, now I am ready for the next thing. I can take my little apple here. I'm going to put a dimensional right on the back, right in the middle there. I'm going to put that right in the front here. Kind of overlapping the pie, overlapping my other apple. I'm not going to really worry about my stem there. I'm just going to leave it up. I'm then going to take my little sentiment here and I'm going to put two of the dimensionals. All right. So craft fair was very interesting. I'll talk more about it on my live at 6:45 tomorrow night. I'll share some of the things with you, and we're going to be making some of those projects as well. So now I've got my little packet made. Let's finish it off. We're going to put in our apple cider mix, our little caramel apple pop. Now you can get these because it's around Halloween time. That's when they sell those. And the way to perfectly package this is to grab a clear envelope. I think you get like 40 or 50 of these for like $6. It's not bad. I mean, you can make a lot of these. And I'm going to slide it right in here. Just like that. And to make sure everything doesn't fall out, there is a adhesive strip there. I've already removed the backing. I'm just going to close that up. And there we go. Quick and easy little treat to hand out or just to give someone. Let them know that you're thinking of you. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, come back. If you haven't already, go ahead and join my Stamp Studio group. I'll have the link to the group. Actually, it's right on the Facebook page. Just go to groups and join. If you're watching YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to get 1,000 viewers so that I can have do some live YouTube videos. So I just have to have a large enough following, and then my videos will also get promoted so other people can see them. So thanks so much. Have an awesome lunch, and we'll see you back at Live 45 tomorrow night. Bye.